Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we have a really fantastic session lined up for you. We're going to improve your English listening and speaking skills, and at the exact same time, we're going to learn some incredibly practical financial vocabulary. And honestly, the best part? We're going to do it all through a highly relatable story about money.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before we jump into our story, I want you to consider this question. How do you manage limited money? Think about your own experiences for a second. Have you ever had to really stretch a small amount of cash just to make it to the end of the month? It's a pretty universal challenge, and keeping your own personal experience in mind will actually make the vocabulary we learn today stick in your memory so much better.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Meet Ollie and his student income. 2. High expenses. 3. Saving money. 4. Paying debt. 5. Key vocabulary. And 6. The ultimate money lesson. All right, let's get right into it.
Section 1. Meet Ollie, student income.
So I want you to listen carefully, maybe even try to speak along with me as we set the stage here. Meet Ollie. Ollie is a college student. He lives in a small apartment in the city. Just kind of picture that scenario for a moment. A typical student trying to navigate life in a busy and likely very expensive urban environment.
Now, how exactly does Ollie survive in this city? Well, every single month, his father sends him some money. And this brings us right to our very first crucial vocabulary word, income. Income is, quite simply, the money you earn or receive. In Ollie's case, he gets this money from his dad, and as our example shows, his income is low. Since it's not very high, Ollie really has to be extremely careful.
Section 2. The problem. High expenses.
Just like anyone else, Ollie has basic things he absolutely must pay for every single month. These are his main monthly expenses. Try saying these slowly out loud with me to practice the pronunciation. Food, rent, transport, right? These are absolute essentials. But man, when your income is low, these three things alone can just eat up almost everything you have.
And, well, this pressure naturally leads to a pretty big realization. One day, really feeling that intense financial squeeze, Ollie turns to his friend and says, "I need to save money this month. My expenses are too high." Listen to that target word again right there in his quote, expenses. He realizes the money going out is just way too much.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two foundational opposites in personal finance. On one side, we've got income, the money you earn or receive. And on the flip side, you have expense, the money you spend. To master your money, and honestly, to master this English vocabulary, you really have to understand this balancing act.
Moving on to Section 3, the solution, saving money. So Ollie talks to his friend who tells him he needs to control his spending. Ollie decides to create an action plan. Let's walk through these steps together, and seriously, I encourage you to read them aloud with me. Step 1, make a budget at the start of the month. He writes down everything. Step 2, stop spending money on unnecessary things. No more useless purchases, right? And step 3, cook at home. By making these choices, Ollie is finally taking charge.
As Ollie actually applies these new daily habits, he starts to see a real change. And this introduces two absolutely vital terms for us. First up, a budget, which is simply a plan for your money. Ollie makes his budget every single month. And because of this careful planning, he starts building up the second term, savings. Savings is just the money you keep for the future. Slowly but surely, by cooking at home and cutting out unnecessary spending, Ollie's savings actually begin to grow.
Section 4, the setback, paying debt.
Okay, let's trace exactly what happened here, nice and slow. Last month, Ollie borrowed money from a friend. This month, he needs to pay back that money. Because of that, at the end of the month, he almost ran out of money. You can really see how past actions directly affect his present finances, right?
So the crucial point is really understanding the word debt. Debt is simply money you owe to someone else. Because Ollie borrowed cash from his friend last month, well, he now carries this debt. He wants to clear his debt, which means he has to give that carefully saved money back to his friend, basically leaving his own pockets practically empty again.
Section 5. Key vocabulary and phrases.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can review everything we've learned in a super easy-to-study format. Let's read these together. Make money means to earn money. For example, he works hard to make money. Save money is to keep money for the future. I try to save money every month. Spend money on is to use money to buy something. She spends money on books. Run out of money means to have absolutely no money left. I ran out of money last week. And finally, payback, which is to return borrowed money. He will pay back soon. I really highly encourage you to practice these phrases out loud daily.
Section 6. The ultimate money lesson.
At the end of that incredibly difficult month, Ollie is chatting with his friend again. He says, "I almost ran out of money, but I learned something important." His friend naturally asks, "Well, what did you learn?" So what do you guys think Ollie learned from this whole stressful experience of budgeting, saving, and paying off debt?
Ali just smiled and gave his friend a very, very famous English idiom. He said, "I learned that money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees." This simply means money is not easy to get. You literally must work for it. You have to make money and manage it carefully. Think of this example. Don't waste your salary. Money doesn't grow on trees. And from that day forward, Ali followed his budget strictly. His savings improved and his stress, well, it dramatically reduced.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. Since money doesn't grow on trees, what will you change about your budget today? Really take a moment to think about that as you review these concepts. Remember, your task from here on out is pretty simple. Listen again, repeat again, and speak out loud. Practicing daily is exactly how you improve. Thanks so much for diving into this explainer with me, and definitely make sure to share it with your friends who might want to improve their English and their financial vocabulary too.